everyone. So today our carry of the week, tip of the week is going to be a little bit different than it is on most weeks, because what I actually want to do today is talk a little bit about some of the verbiage changes that you might be seeing in other baby wearing groups and just kind of other social justice related groups and things of that nature in general, about the terminology change from using the word rebozo to describe different woven wrap carries, such as a rebozo carry that would just go with a short wrap across your chest, sort of in a sling style, or a front torso rebozo, or anything of that nature where you're using that word rebozo. So why there is some discussion of changing that to different terminology is because the rebozo is actually a separate carrier on its own. So it is a traditional carrier itself and not just a terminology. So it would be kind of like if we were to start saying a Meitei instead of a soft structure. So you can put your soft structure on Meitei style. Just to kind of use as a little bit of a verbiage. Or another great example is to call a torso carry, where you just have a woven wrap going across your torso with no shoulder passes, a kanga carry, because a kanga is another one that is just an actual traditional carrier itself and not just a carry. So we're trying to be more sensitive and more aware and not to sort of steal those baby wearing practices of other cultures by changing that terminology. So that's a little bit of the background. And just to give you some more ideas of the actual differences themselves, I've actually got a Mexican rebozo that I bought from a small work-at-home mom company from Mexico, and a woven wrap that is cut into a short piece. So this oftentimes we would refer to as a rebozo, but it's really just a shorty woven wrap. This is a size 2. So a little bit of the differences I'll discuss as well. I am not going to go over tons about the actual rebozo itself, because for one, it is not my culture, so I don't feel like it is necessarily my place to make videos on teaching and explaining the rebozo, and there are plenty of them already out there. But I will give you some of the differences to show. So the rebozo is a short piece of fabric, showing, that is often made of a woven fabric as well. You can see pretty woven fabric. Mine's got pretty fringes. Fringes are often a part of it. And to put the rebozo on, there's many different ways that they are used, but the reason why the traditional sling carry or rebozo carry kind of got picked up is because your most common carry would be to put the rebozo up over one shoulder, and then you would bring the second side around. You can see kind of comparatively how the tails look, and we would just grab the baby that you're going to be using, and they can go typically onto a hip carry, and you'll just pull this material around. Take up a little bit of a seat.
Mommy,
What?
can I have some blueberries?
And then usually you're actually just going to tie a double knot, because they're a little bit shorter than what we in European refer to as a shorty. So I'm just going to tie a double knot up at your chest. And so this is often how the rebozo would be worn, or a lot of traditionally there would be a lot of back carrying. So the back carry would just be scooting that baby around into a Rebozo back carry. So this would be an actual traditional Rebozo and sort of a traditional Rebozo carry. So this came, as I said, actually from Mexico, and it's important for me to acknowledge where this came from and that it is a little bit different. So from here, we'll talk a little bit about the woven wrap shorty. Of course, they can come in many, many different sizes. You can have shorter to longer. So I'll show you kind of a comparable difference in my sizing between the Rebozo and my shorty. It's about the same, but my shorty is actually kind of got them both together. It's a little hard to see, but I'm holding them both together end to end. And my shorty actually gets a little bit, quite a bit more length to it typically. So the Rebozo is really a much shorter piece than what we have commonly referred to as a Rebozo up until some of this verbiage change. So it does go on fairly similarly in that Rebozo carry that is now being changed to traditional sling carry. And just as an update, that verbiage in itself could actually change as well. There's still a vote in progress to find exactly what the best verbiage to call this particular carry that I'm going to be doing now. So I've got one tail over my shoulder, and I'm going to bring the other tail around my body. You already see how much longer my tails are, which gives me the benefit of being able to do a different knot off. So I'm going to do a slip knot, which is usually the tie off that you would do with a woven wrap. So another difference in itself. So I'm going to hold my short tail coming over my shoulder. I'm going to take my longer tail from around. I'm going to cross it underneath, and then I'm going to come up and under. You can see I'm still holding this tail without moving my hand from it because it makes it a little bit easier for me. And if I move this, you can see how it makes my slip knot move up and down. So now that I've got this hanging over, what I like to then do is just keep my wrist in place and pull that tail around, and then tuck it through where my hand is right now. And then you can use that other hand to grasp it and pull it through, which is going to make me nice little slip knot, which will move easily up and down. So you can already see how there's differences in the woven wrap size 2 and the actual Rebozo, the traditional carrier, the Rebozo. The tails are longer, the material moves just slightly differently, and we typically will knot off the size 2 shorty carry a little bit differently. So from here, I'm just going to go ahead and try to grab my baby and drop her in again.
And now it's easy. Mommy, we're eating these snackies.
So I'm going to hold my baby up over my shoulder, and I'm going to feed her legs into the pouch that I've made right here. And 2 seconds. She had an accident in her panties, so I'm taking them off real quick. Alright, so let me get her bottom cover back up. Okay, there we go. So, naked baby in a row. Alright, so from here, I am then going to pull the top over and around and tuck that bottom seat up and under her bottom. So she's sitting in much the same way as she was in the Rebozo. And we can just go through and pull any of that slack. You're going to pull it around to your other side. If I find my top here. My top rail. I'm gonna find that. See that slack that I'm working out right there. And once I have that slack, I'm just going to pull it out through. There you go. So you can watch that slack move out. So this would be the carry that is being referred to currently as the traditional sling carry, which was once the Rebozo carry, but again, we're trying to be careful to not appropriate that culture and that actual Mexican Rebozo traditional carrier. So there are some other names that they are potentially working out naming the what once was the Rebozo carry, such as a sash carry or just sling carry. So you might see some other verbiage changes for some other carries, like double Rebozo shoulder to shoulder. It might become double sling carry shoulder to shoulder, or some other terminology like that. And hopefully this will give you a little bit more information on why the changes are happening, and hope to open up a little bit of dialogue in what the difference is between a short woven wrap or a size 2 woven wrap and a Rebozo, as well as what's the differences between a Rebozo and a Rebozo carry versus the actual traditional sling carry as it's being referred to right now. So hopefully this will hope to open up a little bit of that dialogue and continue to bring awareness of social justice issues and cultural awareness issues, and make it, baby awareness in general, a friendlier, better place for everybody that's involved. I'm gonna go take care of my baby who had a accident in her undies. So. Alright, bye-bye. Say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.